Alright, what's up everyone? Extra here, doing another video. This one's immediately after the last one. I'm not wearing the same clothes 2 days in a row. Thank you very much. In this video, basically I want to talk about something that's kinda like abstract and difficult to describe. I've already tried doing this video and I've done a retake and it's just I get all on a tangent and it's but I'll try my best. Basically I want to talk about conditioning and the flow of the game, and just sort of how to anticipate things from your opponent and how to make them do what you want. And first of all, I want to just say that everything you do, well, at least against people who are sort of at that mid-level, at that high level, if you're sort of low level, this video might not be as directed towards you. You should mostly just think about improving your movement and stuff. But I mean, it can sort of it can help you with your mind games. But basically, at that level, where you're playing a PR player or whoever, everything you do will have a reaction from them. Literally everything you do will cause a reaction. And if you can sort of figure out why things you do cause the reactions they do, or what reactions they cause from the one person, then you can sort of take control of the flow of the game. And when I say flow, I basically mean you are calling them out repeatedly, you're not giving them a chance to hit you, you're staying one step ahead of them. That's sort of controlling the flow of the game, is when you do something and you know how they'll respond in reaction to that something, and then you call them out and you pick basically picking the right options over and over again, because you understand the reactions they're going to have. And I think players like Poppet's really good at this. I think I'm pretty good at it. Who else? Ghost's pretty good at it, I think. All the top players are good at this. They understand it, even if they don't really know how to put it in words. And that's why I think it's important to put this in words so people can have an idea of how to progress. And basically the example I was going to use is when I played against Swithy's Cloud a lot. Swithy's a thick player, he's top 10, top 15. Plays Sonic and Cloud. I was not very good at this Cloud matchup. And what I would do is he would start by throwing out a lot of back airs, forward airs, just general hitboxes. And then he'd back off a bit because or I'd get hit by them and I'd take damage. And then in response to that, I would be okay, I shouldn't run in very much, and I should just try and bait something. So I'd jump around a bit, I'd do a bit of empty movement, and in response to this, he'd just run up and dash attack me, and then I'd get really, really, really mad because I'd just be I can't believe I got hit by the dash attack. I can't react to this. What do I do? Etc. etc. And basically, how to understand this is that he knows that the response from me to getting hit by hitboxes or getting walled out is to try and bait something. And because he knows that I'm going to do a lot of empty movement because we've played a lot, and then he'll just run in and hit me because he knows that he can do that. And then because of that, I can't get anything started. I can't get control of the flow of the game. He stays one step ahead of me. So basically, how you want to think about this is you want to think about the best moves that your character has, or the moves that your character will use the most in neutral. I'm going to use Sheik as another example here. Sheik's needles. Needles are a really obvious one. When you throw needles, the opponent is basically, because the move is so good, the opponent is going to have roughly the same response. They're going to start shielding a lot more. And once you can take advantage of that, once you know, okay, needles, I can literally start charging needles and they will shield most of the time. You can start grabbing them, obviously. Grab's the obvious one. And then when you start grabbing them a lot more, you can think, okay, I'm grabbing them a lot more. What's the reaction to getting grabbed? It's probably to spot dodge more or something, or roll more. So then you can start throwing needles again, or you can start using moves like neutral air, which have a lot of active frames, and just catching them out like that. Basically, every move that you do, or even movement that you do, is going to have a response from someone. If you're rolling a lot, people are going to start reading your rolls, obviously. if you're spot dodging a lot, people who recognize that might start running past you and pivot grabbing to sort of like catch the spot dodge timing. Or if you're shielding a lot, people might start grabbing a lot, etc., etc. So once you sort of know what like your main tools in neutral will cause them to do, then you can just like continually just stay one step ahead of them. Because if you know that, then you know what they're going to do before they do it, basically. And that's the concept of staying one step ahead of your opponent. The main problem comes when people have different reactions to what you do, and that means that you might be thrown off a bit. And the other problem comes from the fact that you don't want to have predictable reactions to what they're doing. Like you're playing Sheik again against a Diddy, and they know that when they have a banana in their hand and they're running around a lot, you will just like you'll just hold the shield, so they throw their banana and then they just like dash grab you or something. And once you can recognize that, it sort of becomes a bit of a guessing game, or a bit of like a tug of war of who can like catch the other person out on their predictable options a lot more. It's really good to like learn this in Australia, because people have predictable options to things because we're not as good at the game, I guess. So yeah, that's mainly why I wanted to try and bring this up. And how you can learn this, or like how you can sort of teach yourself to learn this, is just like, I don't know, it depends on how you learn, obviously, because everyone learns differently. But you know instinctively, like when you hit someone with something a lot, what they're going to start doing. So just like think about if you were playing against your character and they were doing this thing, if they were doing this thing a lot, like I don't know, if like you play Diddy and you're forward airing a lot, then just sort of think about what would this person do in response to that. Like, or no, what would I do in response to that if I were playing against a Diddy, for example. And if you can sort of like work it out from like the other person's point of view, putting yourself in their shoes, then you can figure out the ways that you should respond to them before they adapt to you, or like right as they adapt to you. And once you can do that, you can sort of like really start controlling the game and just like destroying people, and it helps you get reads as well, and so on and so on. This video has probably gone on for long enough. I pretty much got most of what I wanted to say out of the way, but it might not still be that useful anyway. If it's not, I apologize, but well, what can you do? It's a hard concept. Maybe I'll do another video. But yeah, alright, that's about it. See you guys.